Hello, I'm back. In this video, we'll be covering the best of the worst. Which, as the name might sound, is I'll be covering 10 games that are part of beloved franchises that don't live up to the pedigree of the rest of the series. So, let's get started after the cut. Okay then, we're back. And basically, the first half of the best of the worst of the best, I was thinking, what could I possibly tackle? What series is generally considered to be really good? And then it hit me. Then it hit me like a ton of bricks. The Legend of Zelda. Generally a very good series, but there's some red-headed stepchildren in the bunch. Not to say that these games that are 10 through 5 are bad, but they definitely have a few issues. So, let's get right down to it. Number 10 and 9. These two games, respectively, are two handheld entrants in the Legend of Zelda series. And what holds them back from being good has nothing to do with quality or the of the games, or them being ill-made or ill-conceived, or even their graphical fidelity or music. It's the controls. It's the controls. So, basically, this game is a real stinker. The controls of these games really held it back from being more than it could have been. And it's time to get down to it. Number 10, Phantom Hourglass. Yes. I know some people, they're going to be like, oh, Phantom Hourglass. Look, Phantom Hourglass would have been 100% better if it did not use the stylus. Or use the stylus sparingly. But forcing you to use the stylus for everything just really made that game not very good. Which brings me to its cousin, Spirit Tracks. The stylus. Yet again, the friggin' stylus. Look, not every game needs a funky control scheme, okay? Which brings me to number 8 on this list. The incomparable and incredibly wearying Skyward Sword. Now, I know what some people are going to say. Skyward Sword is one of the greatest Zeldas ever. Skyward Sword is not a bad Legend of Zelda game. It's not like, oh my god, I can't believe I played this. It's not Tingle's Tuner or Tetris Trackers. Hint, what's next on this list? But it is very much a redhead stepchild. See, here's the problem with Skyward Sword, okay? You can tell that the developers of Skyward Sword basically, for all intents and purposes, energy and time that they should have been spending on giving you more islands to explore in the above the clouds, fleshing out Hyrule, well, what would become Hyrule. They spent on trying to perfect the motion controls. If that game had a conventional control scheme, they could have put more energy on things that actually mattered and not making the person playing this game tired. Okay? Because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When I play games, I like to sit on my couch or in my bed and just play my games. I don't really want to have to stand up and, you know, sit in a chair and make sure like that's too much. No, I play games because I want to be lazy and entertained. I mean, don't make me do all this hand. Okay, Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort were just as far as I was willing to go with the hand waving and gesturing. Okay, Twilight Princess had just enough. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption had just enough motion control to make it worth my while. After that, I don't want any more. No more motion control. Okay, no more motion control. No more motion control. None. 9. Which brings me to number 7. Tingle's Tuner. Tingle's Tuner. I just fucking hate Tingle. That's it. I don't like Tingle. He's the Jar Jar Binks of the Legend of Zelda franchise, and I wish you were allowed to kill him. In Brawl, whenever you got on that balloon, I popped it just so that he'd fall in the ocean, and I hoped he died, because I hate Tingle. I hate the concept of Tingle. I hope he dies. I hope he's put into an insane asylum and lobotomized, like they did Jack Nicholson's character in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Which brings me to number 6. Tetris Trackers. Why? Why? That's the end of this first half of the worst of the best. Stay tuned after the cut for the second half, where I'll be covering the next 5 games, and these will be in various different franchises. Okay, I'm back. Now it's time to get down to the rest of the group. I'll be covering from 5 to 1 franchises that are kind of, let's put it this way, maybe not as prolific as The Legend of Zelda, in terms of, or not highly critically acclaimed as The Legend of Zelda, but still have left their mark on the gaming industry, and how basically they've kind of gone downhill. So we'll begin with number 5. Every Mega Man X game after 3. That's right. All of them. Every Mega Man X game after 3 is just a waste of time. And I know Capcom wanted that money, and Capcom loves making sequel after sequel after sequel, i.e. they suffer from sequel-itis. But for the love of God, like, I saw no reason. Like, I own all those Mega Man X's. I have Mega Man X4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have all of the Mega Man X's. But for the love of God, man, please, there was no need to go further after 3. We had a nice ending. Everything was tied up in a bow. We got Zero back. Things were looking optimistic and up. Why'd you keep on bringing all these new people? Axel, some chick with a red arm, friggin' scientist robot chick. I mean, just too many. Just too many. It's too much. It's too much. Okay, that series should have ended with 3, and then they should have moved on to something else. Maybe built an entire franchise around Mega Man Legends? I'm just saying. Number 4. The entirety of Final Fantasy 13. 13, 13-2, 13-3. Now, I played 13-3 a weekend ago, and I beat it. That whole weekend, I just played it straight through. I ordered a couple of pizzas, and I had 2 or 3 2-liters, and I just played that game with only bathroom breaks and nap breaks. I played it through. I'm not going to do a review because it was a forced playthrough. I had to play it so that when people said, "Oh, you didn't like that game, you didn't even play it," actually, I did play it, and I still stand by my initial statement. That game, I knew it was going to be a piece of garbage, and it was. But that's aside from the point. Final Fantasy has really gone down the tubes. And just when I think it's hit rock bottom, Square Enix comes out with something that proves that they still got some depth left to go. Okay? Final Fantasy X came out with a protagonist that I wanted to kill horrifically. Tidus. And I thought, man, this series has hit rock bottom. But no, they made 10-2, which proved there was some they could go deeper. Then they made Final Fantasy 11 an MMO, which I've already told you guys how I feel about MMOs, RPGs being turned into MMOs. Don't like it. But then they made Final Fantasy 12. I was like, okay, I can see that they're trying to recapture that magic. What Final Fantasy 12 was the prototype for Final Fantasy 14. Basically, you could make Final Fantasy 12 if you played it right, play itself, but with the Gambit system. I know this because I owned Final Fantasy 12, owned Final Fantasy 12, and I beat it, played it, beat it. Boring game. Once you get your gambits right and you have everyone equipped with the right weapons and armor, the game plays itself. You just tell them where to go and they'll do everything. If you have one character who heals and has some type of special ability that lets them get magic back, and then like 2 attackers and 1 character who knows offensive magic, you beat the game. You can play the entire game just that way. Okay. It's a very boring. There's like no real and I thought, well, they've hit rock bottom with 12. They can't go any further. But then they made Final Fantasy 13. And not only have they made a Final Fantasy 13, they've made 3 of these damn things. And each one is progressively worse. Final Fantasy 13 was bad enough. And it had a WTF ending that just made no sense. Then they made Final Fantasy 13 2 with protagonists that no one cares about. Then they made Final Fantasy 13 3 Lightning Returns, where you have a whopping party of 1 character, Lightning. That's it. It's not even a real RPG. It's like the people at Square are like, fuck it, we don't know how to make RPGs anymore. Anyone who's holding out hope for Final Fantasy 15, well, we all need something to look forward to in our life, even if it is disappointment. Which brings me to number 3. Now, you guys know me. You know I am a Mario fan. And normally, there's nothing Mario can touch that I'm not like, I love these Mario games. Number 3 is a tie between 2 Mario games that I got for my SNES, and promptly destroyed these games when I got old enough to own it outright myself and I wasn't in my parents' house. Mario teaches, it was Mario in Time and Where's Mario? These 2 games were learning games, educational games, and I hated them. Not because they were terrible learning and education games, but because, frankly speaking, when you're a kid, you don't want education snug up on you. You know, Math Blaster was out there in the open. It's Math Blaster! Reading Blaster! Mavis Beacon! Typing of the Dead! It was out there in the open. Oregon Trail, you were learning history! Don't sneak education into Mario. Just come right out and say it. Mario's teaching typing. I can deal with that. Even though that was terrible too. Which brings me to number 2. Speaking of terrible too, which brings me to number 2. Number 2 is a difficult one. This is a franchise that not many people, that isn't like ultra popular here in America. It has a decent following, but is really popular in Japan. Yakuza! Yes, or Ryu Gotoku, whatever. I probably butchered that. But basically, it's Japan's version of GTA, but Yakuza kicks GTA's ass, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong. I wish you'd come up here and debate me about it. But Yakuza is a very in-depth game. Okay? It's very... It's got a lot of layers to it. And it's always... I mean, you play a Yakuza game, you'll be spending 80 to 90 to 100 hours getting everything. And even after you do that, you can still play it and just do all types of weird stuff. I mean, it's just that good. But there's one game in the franchise that's just god-awful, and it's called Dead Souls. Now, I have Dead Souls. I like Dead Souls, but even I recognize it's god-awful. Yakuza Dead Souls is the Yakuza series developers trying to cash in to the zombie madness that has overtaken gaming, because it's about zombies. That's it. It's just got zombies, different types of zombies, but zombies nonetheless, and guns, lots and lots of guns. It's the black sheep of the franchise. That isn't to say it's not a fun game. It is a fun game. It's got like 4 main characters, a dude with a gun arm that's also a Gatling gun. I mean, it's really fun, but it's just not good as well. It's not as good as the other games in the series. Which leads me to number 1. The number 1 worst of the best games ever. This is a game that is widely considered to be, by some, to be pretty good. Well, it's good in total franchise, but not very good in terms of its quality within and of itself. The game I'm talking about is BioWare's seminal Dragon Age 2 and Mass Effect 3. That's right, I said it. These 2 games are total letdowns and just depression. If you like those franchises, these games will let you down hard. And it's sad because the build-up is great. The payoff... Well, that's the end of this best of the worst, or worst of the best. Stay tuned for the best of the worst, where I'll be covering the best games in the worst franchises.